This, as I said at the beginning, this first bit is my bit, Ethan. And if I'm honest, from this moment on, you'll sit there, you'll listen, and you'll speak when you're spoken to.
Okay.
And the audience will just, I mean, because it's an apology, this. At large, it's an apology.
Right.
Last week I wasn't here.
Yep.
It was you and Dom. The first time you two had been together, obviously you guessed last week.
Of course.
You were a guest last week, and it was just you two. I couldn't make it due to illness. I didn't listen, but I did manage to hear some of the clips. You do a wonderful job with the YouTube, Lambooner for Two.
Thank you.
You clip it up, so if someone don't want to listen to the full show, they can just find the segment they want to see. But I did have someone listen for me.
Okay.
So before we get into this, I just want to say to you and to Dom, who's hopefully listening. If not, he can listen back. We are recording now, aren't we?
Yes,
So,
yeah,
you've managed to
definitely,
start this
yeah.
recording, yeah. I just want to know, you and Dom, I love you, friends, family. I'd say if anything, Lambooner for Two has done, it's brought us together as a family. It was me and Dom to start. Siblings fought. We brought in a third sibling. Mum and Dad accidentally had a late one, and Ethan's turned up and he's managed to guest whenever he can. We don't need him every week, just most weeks. So he's here. So that's a start. Ethan. This is from a place of love.
Yep.
And this is the first and last time I'll swear on the show. But last week's show was shit. I'm going to start with Dave. You'll speak when spoken to. I'm going to start with Big Dave's notes. He listened to the show. I went, just give me an idea of the show.
Right.
Because I only heard the clips. These aren't my ideas. This is what he's written. You can see he wrote them down. Was a pretty poor show in all, but that's par for the course. I liked the apology, but I liked even more they purposely didn't record it. It was very segment heavy. It's like they were scared to have an actual conversation because they knew they wouldn't be able to hold one. At one point, an Oasis song just cut off halfway through, and they didn't even apologise. Just said no idea and cracked on. Also, he also said you was wrong about Rocky. Apparently, when I made my reference to Rocky in my apology, in Rocky 2, you said, no, that's Rocky 1 he's on about. And you were wrong. It's Rocky 2 I'm on about.
You said when Apollo wins by split decision, that's Rocky 1.
What I said was when Apollo's reading the letters he gets about his split decision win. And he starts reading his letters in Rocky 2
Okay.
to his better half. So we'll start with that. Okay, that was his thoughts of the show, which it didn't make me happy. I was hoping for great things.
Yeah.
These you wait.
Carry on. Right.
These were his opinions of the two presenters, Dominic London, Ethan Blakemore. We'll start with Dom, seeing as though he's not here, the lazy scouser git. I don't know much about Dom, but you can tell that he is one vindictive and easily wound up person. I'm not sure what you've done to piss him off, but Christ, you can tell he gets moody quickly. Not sure why this surprises me though, after seeing him in the pub and refusing to get around in till we all agreed that we'll be getting one back. Maybe he should stick to darts. That's his opinion on Dom. From one show. This is his opinion on you.
Go on.
I don't know the other one's name, but he at least sounds like he should be on radio. Not that anyone will want to listen to him. Which I think's harsh. I like listening to you, Ethan, but that's the fans we're listening
All
to now.
opinions.
That's the fans we're listening to. He ended it with, "Come back, Cam, you're our only hope." I think that says a lot.
Well,
Now, we'll go on to my thoughts of the show. I listened to the clips that you so wonderfully put up on YouTube, Lambooner for Two, and anyone wants to check it out. There's just audio basically, and you can just listen along. I had no idea what order you did the show in. I just went in order of what I thought would be worst to best, basically.
okay.
I started with extras, and I was right, just useless. But in there was like a good segment long, like at least 5 minutes, of you telling a story about your mate losing his phone and buying a phone. That was the story. You said your mate lost his phone at the park and bought a phone off his mate.
Yeah, but it was the same phone.
No, it wasn't.
You believe?
No, it wasn't. You just said he bought a phone and you went, "Hey, it's the same phone though, isn't it?"
It's coincidental.
No, it's not coincidental. What did he have? Written iPhone?
Yeah, it was
The most popular phone in the
It was the same model and
Well,
colour.
So you're acting like it's an obscure phone. What, the most popular phone in the world, and he bought the same one. That was the story.
That
He lost
model.
his phone and bought one.
But
Next. Next. Just riveting stuff. The next one was Dearest Dom and Ethan. The notes I had on this was, it's clear to me and everyone else why I pick what questions are sent out. Embarrassing. What a waste of airtime, and I hope you both have a good old think. Dom's story that he made up was about nipple tassels and something else, and some lass enjoying BDSM. I can't even remember your story because it was that boring.
That was good. It's about the,
That's how bad it was.
about the fella wanting to. He asked if it was appropriate to send a nude to like someone in the workplace.
It was
Send a picture of
just-
his dick.
Shambolic. It was so bad to listen to. So you two are never doing that again. Jockbusters, this is for you, even though it's Dom's. Well, we'll get onto that. You're never allowed to give opinions back to Jockbusters again. Dom gives the worst, most horrendous clues and answers that aren't related to the clues in an attempt to be Cal Pilkington. And then you go, yeah, that makes sense. That religious fella can't go in work today. Christian Pulisic.
He did say he wouldn't like that one, to be fair.
You said it was good.
I understood how he got there.
How do you get there? What's his name?
Christian Pulisic.
Christian Pulisic.
Yeah.
Pulisic.
You can see Christian
What's his name? Christian Pulisic.
Pulisic. Yeah.
Not Christian's Pulisic.
Yeah. You made a
It's
similar comment about
rubbish. It's crap. And you're not allowed to give feedback because you entice him. Because he went, you both won't like this, and then you went, oh, I like that. And that just makes him think it's good, and it's not. It's crap. I can assure you, that's the last Jockbusters we're ever doing. He's never doing that again, and you're never giving feedback on it again.
In my defence, I was
Next.
against Jockbusters when it first came.
I don't know what else you did, but I mean, Jockbusters was an idea he stole from XFM.
Yeah.
Dearest Dom and Ethan was my idea originally. Extras is God knows what it is. Chew for Rubbish is something you started, but I said was an idea. You just give a story, and I said, right, I want you to give me a
Yeah,
story
you
every
did.
week. So all these are my ideas.
Right.
And then we come to the last one. Tales of McAlpin. Originally, my idea, yeah. I wanted Tales from the House. You give the tales, but it was I said, this is what I wanted. Yet again, another one of my segments that you've had to use because originality and creativeness is not something you two possess. The first one. Claims he's a cricket fan. Go on a rather long-winded story about me. Oh no, first one was just claims he's a cricket fan. I like cricket, so just claims, so just lying. I like cricket, and you go, well, does he? Meh, does he? You're both using the Dom's mares. Then this. Goes on a rather long-winded story about me losing my head and laughing about it. I agree, yeah. Did I not lose my head in that sports class? Yeah. You can agree. What did you two start talking about in that same show? How you both lost your head in the sports
Yeah, we
room
admitted it,
in
yeah.
that way. So how can you have a story trying to embarrass me?
I'm not trying to embarrass you.
You was
just-
trying to
it's just
embarrass
a
me. Don't
story.
lie.
It's
Don't
just
look
a
at me and
story.
lie. Trying to embarrass me about losing my head, and then go on the same show and say, "We lost our head today."
But we admitted.
Idiotic from the pair of you. Embarrassing. One of the stories was that I asked politely if I could eat in a class.
That was a bit.
That was a story. That's no. That's one of the stories you've told. That I asked if I'm all right to eat in here. That was the story.
To be fair, we've had.
What's the story there?
It's fun. It's just funny that. You,
What's
the
funny
way-
about
the way
manners?
You asked
That's
me,
the story.
"Can I eat
End
that
of.
sausage
No, end
roll?"
of. End of. That was the story. Cam asked nicely if he could eat. What a riveting story. Catcalling. Let me go through my notes.
I wasn't there for that, but
That's a very important point. I'm glad you said that again. What an important point. The first line I have, it's Ethan, quote, I wasn't there. So apparently when driving back, I catcalled 2 women. When Dom first told the story, it was 1 woman.
yeah, that's true.
So we've gone up to 2 women already because he just can't keep track of his own lies. In the story, you can go back and listen. When Dom was telling this story, he said, I have no idea what was said. And then you go, what did you just say then? I wasn't there.
Yeah.
And then what do you say? You went, oh, I've got a quote here. Didn't he say something like, you look good there, love? So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
wasn't there,
But
but you had the quote. Dom had no idea what was said, but when you said the quote, he went, yeah, that's what was said.
Set your goal.
Should we go to a court of law, shall we?
Okay, go on.
Do you want to go to a court of law?
Yeah, sure.
The story was that I catcalled. Dom has no idea what I said. You wasn't there, but you have the quote. Just for anyone, that's the level of intellect these two have. They can't
How's
even.
that my fault? I
they
got
can't-
given the quote.
They can't even. From who?
Dom.
He said he didn't know what I
Well, he
said.
clearly did if he told me.
Well, how can he? He said he didn't know.
He told me that he had.
Well, so someone's lying, are they?
Why would I get the quote? I wasn't
Right, so
there.
Tales of McAlpin, so far, we've had that. Apparently, I'm a cricket fan. That was the story. Apparently, well, not apparently, I asked nicely if I could eat a sausage roll. That's a story.
That was funny.
That's a story. A story is that a cat called, but Dom doesn't know what I said. Ethan wasn't there, but Ethan knows what I said.
I got told.
So we can know it's a lie, just instantly. And the last one, before we go to break, is the one that really upset me, if I'm honest. And I will let you know that there were a couple of things around my area that you have to live by. Number one is you don't rat on people. You don't rat on people. And I just want you to know, I never wanted to do this, but now I have to. Clearly, anything that's said between the three of us is for the world to hear. So you and Dom are no longer allowed to get annoyed. I've never done it before. But kick off if I ever tell a story that you've told privately to the public about someone. You told a story about me getting a photo of Randall from
That was
Monsters Inc.
brilliant.
up,
Nice.
but it was private.
You should. To be fair, I think that's
Was-
what you should be plastering over the wall.
Was it private? Did I do it privately to Dom?
Yeah.
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 So now none of you are allowed to get annoyed if I start telling stories that you've told.
To be fair.
Out I've not finished,
All right.
so we'll start. So hopefully Dom's listening. If not, he can go back and listen with all his mates. And I know his mates because one of them's a nonce because he changes his age to try and pull 18-year-olds because he's a weird guy. I'll finish.
I've got.
I bet they've gone down to they've gone down to darts today, haven't they?
Yep.
What's the guy on the chase?
Chase.
Yeah, the tall guy. Can you remember his name?
Oh, Mark Lebet.
What? No, the
Chase.
tall guy. No, not the chase. Sorry,
Oh,
pointless.
Richard Osman.
Richard Osmond. They've gone down with that Richard Osmond looking guy, and I bet you that Richard Osmond looking guy has bought the tickets for darts, and none of them have paid him because they know he's a pushover, and they've all laughed behind his back. If you're listening, Richard, they've all laughed behind your back about how they owe you money and they're not going to pay it to you because they're waiting for you to say something because they know you're not going to say something. That's the friends you're with. Dom's also laughed at whoever's down there. One of their granddads or something dying, falling off the roof. Dom's laughed at that. And I'm sorry, Dom, I didn't want to tell these stories, but you started it by exposing me about, what's he called off Monsters Inc? Randall. So there you go. That's your friends, Richard. They won't pay you because they know you won't ask, and your mates with a nonce. I was going to make jokes about your mates, but I'm not actually sure you've got any, if I'm honest. I've never heard one of them. I've never heard you do anything. You always seem available for Thursday. At least Dom's got stuff on. You've got nothing on.
Yeah, I'm busy other days of the week.
I bet you are. So, yeah. That's what I got from last week's show. I apologise for having to tell tales out of school, but I didn't start it. I'm not happy for having to do it, if I'm honest. But, you know, it's the nature of the game. And the show on a whole didn't sound good. I clearly wasn't happy with it. The numbers that you got didn't look great, if I'm
I haven't
honest.
checked the numbers actually. But
No, well, there's no need to. There was one that did well. You know, it was the one that bared my name. There's a shock, but I think that everything's been released in that moment. Would you agree?
Yeah.
we got rid
line
of some
under the sun.
tensions. We've drawn a line in it. We've drawn a line under the sand. We won't even mention it anymore.
Yep.
In fact, we will. Just one more thing. It still annoys me that you didn't record the apology I give.
Yeah.
It was heartfelt, and I meant every word I said. You son of a bitch. But we're going to move on to this one. A segment that you did last week that was... I forgot to even mention that. Do you know what? We'll come back to it for a sec. I forgot about that. True for rubbish. If you ever use something from Come Fly With Me again, you're never doing this again. You're lucky Dom has no idea about life unless it's related to Tranmere or buying lasses half of pints when you're at gigs. Because that was embarrassing. All you needed, you didn't even do it at the end, the best part of them couple of going, this is the worst holiday we've ever been on. You didn't even do it.
It's had to be careful because I wasn't sure if he was going to clock on.
Like Dom's going to have any idea about that.
He said he's seen it before, but
Yeah, but
obviously-
he was probably coked up. Yeah, you didn't like that, Dom, did you? That's what we're doing now. We're having to tell tales out of school.